shortchanging others and changing the names of delegates. So you would have assumed the normal thing. I know. I think for most of the parties is the chairman, the secretary, the treasurer, the woman leader, the youth leader. Those 5. And then if there are 7, then they add maybe 2 other persons within the ward. But then these people will leave for the party convention as delegates in their minds, only to get there and see that their names are not on the delegates list. So it's a question of who has direct access to Abuja. And I think that's where our courts will need to come. Now, if we also say direct primaries, we saw what happened in 2019 in Lagos, where, at the primaries of the APC, Sanwo-Olu was polling millions of votes at the primary, while Anambode was polling. I was speaking with a friend who is still a politician, and then he was telling me about what played out in Alimosho, for instance, that at the level of the ward, that they will just start counting. Now, if you don't have agents there, you can be sure that whatever result you're given, so they will tell you somebody polled 1,100 and something. Even the total number of members in the ward are not up to 1,000. So if we say that we're going for direct primaries, it doesn't look like a silver bullet that cures all. I think the Electoral Act should, that's why I said I feel that we should still allow the parties to have that freedom, and our courts have established that over their internal affairs. However, it must conform to the ideals of democracy. Situations where, a result, even what brought the likes of course, Tinubu, Lamadeshino, Akonde, and even Adefarasi in Ondo State. What brought all these persons into government was a subversion of the people's wish. There was a primaries, they all lost.
You see, it's a real good thing, that the issues surrounding the Electoral Act is coming to the fore at a time when there were so many revelations in Akonde's book on how the people or the so-called politicians abuse the process. So many things have come to the fore. But to support what Plateau has said, that system of law is the best, which leaves least in the discretion of the judge. That judge, the best, who relies least on his opinion. And I think it aptly describes the intendment of the changes that have been made to the Electoral Act. We've had a lot of discretion. Godfathers are coming here, choosing who should be there, and it is not supposed to be so. The Nigerians are entitled to participate in their own governance by choosing the people they feel can deliver the deliverables of democracy.
Now, but what do you think? What is the point? Because, the governor of Rivers State has stated here, Chief Nyesom Wike, that the National Assembly actually does not even have the courage to veto President Muhammadu Buhari into signing the Electoral Act Amendment Bill. Wike said that the development was part of the APC scheme to deny Nigerians free, fair, and transparent election in 2023, saying that the only way for Nigerians not to repeat the 2015 and 2019 mistakes of voting the APC-led federal government into power is to send them packing in 2023. Wike spoke at the flag-off of Chokocho Igbodo Road that was performed by the governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State on Monday in Eche local government area. Monday, according to a statement by his special assistant on media, Kelvin Iberi, we can recall that he had raised the concerns that President Buhari would not sign the Electoral Act Amendment Bill into law to give legal impetus to electronic transmission of election results. But actually, the National Assembly really does have, the president does have the plan to veto, and the National Assembly has another, a bigger power to actually also overturn whatever veto the president is. But would they use those powers?
I think let's even start from the moral angle. Wike or any of the governors does not have that moral right. These are people that run prebendal systems in their states. That their states houses of assemblies are appendages of them, and then it's coming out to say another person. Like it's just funny.
Just making a mockery of everything.
It's just funny. You can hardly have. How many of them can say that there are different houses of assemblies have financial freedom?
Anyway, going to the question that Ronke asked, I think I want to admonish the National Assembly with what Socrates told the judges, because in this instance, they will be acting like judges. And according to Socrates, he said, the judge is to hear courteously. He is to answer wisely. He is to consider soberly and to decide impartially. The task upon the National Assembly is to reflect the true character of what a National Assembly should be.
Right.
The representatives of the people, the voice of the people. And the people have expressed their voice. They want direct primaries. We have done the other one.
Right.
We have used the other ones, and the results are not good enough.
Barrister, but we already seen the results of the direct primaries too.
Right.
At least we have seen examples in Lagos. We have seen in what's it called, Abuja for APC. And we have seen some other places. My fear is this: if we tend to be so fixated about isms. Now, if we think that direct primaries is the way, we have seen how it has failed. Can't we give this freedom for parties to decide if we are going to go for direct primaries? These are measures that should be put in place. We should not just go for the system.
Right.
We should look at, okay, what are the leakages? And I think 2019 has given us a kind of a peep into what the leakages in direct primaries could be. Now, that some persons will manufacture figures and manufacture members. Now, can we not even have an electronic voting for the primaries of parties?
Exactly.
Why those don't? Why is that not an option as opposed to just question?
You have a list of your members already.
Ronke.
Can they vote via text messages?
Okay, do you know what? Let's hold the thought. Let's take a short commercial break. Let's take a break. We might have to still come back on this because I still want to ask, because even though Plato, you've mentioned how people like Wiki obviously cannot speak about this because even they in their own states have these issues where the houses of assembly cannot speak. But this, National Assembly, they should be able to have more independence and should be able to do the right thing. But let's come back after this short break to answer some of these questions. It's still straight from the dailies. I'm Ronke Giwa Onafuwa. I'll be right back.
And this is another episode of Splash on the Streets, where we ask the people of Ibadan interesting questions. You want to know today's zone? Let's meet on the streets. Between a car and a house, which would you prefer to get first?
I'll go for house now.
Why?
Because it's more durable and it gives someone more comfortability and it's an asset, and it has future more than buying a car.
Okay.
So you understand, a car is just to show someone's flamboyance, a kind of being arrived, and and it makes people even to run after you. They thought you have a kind of much money in your hands, so I would prefer to buy a house first.
Priority matters, but first priority in this country is having a car.
Why?
Just to make for your easy movements. But the number one thing is to have your house, because you can't live in your car with your family members.
So personally for you, which one would you pick first?
I can't decide until I ask my partner. Because once you are married, you are no longer yourself, you are now one. So it's not all about you, it's about you and your partner.
I prefer house than a car.
Why?
Because if I have cars, I cannot sleep inside car wherever I'm going. But if I have house, whenever I'm leaving the house, I'll have a home.
Okay.
Ilé ni màá kọ́ra.
Kí ló dé sà?
Ilé ìjámu, mọ́tò mọ́ jámu, nítorí mọ́ náwó sí mọ́tò rẹ̀, ṣùgbọ́n lé ọkàn mi ò bá ilé lórí.
First, house. Why?
Because I can have issues with car later on, but house. Actually, one paper on money. Like you say, you get like that. It's for a very long time, and look old, you can just review. Car, you just sell everything.
Okay.
Now house.
Why?
House is an asset. Why car is liability?
When ilé wa okay, because mọ́tò lélẹ́yìí àtẹnitá ni mọ́tò lè license, so o lè tó bẹ́ẹ̀ lè license ní o ti ní damage tí kò sí pé bá kiri kankan mọ́, so o ti lose mọ́tò nìyẹn. Ilé ò move lọ anywhere. Àtẹnitá nǹkan o tún lè fi lè ṣe another business mi tọ́jà kó tún lè mówó wọlé fún ẹ. Either kò fi rent àbí kó lọ bí bóyá orí pé ilẹ̀ yẹn ti wà increase in price ó lè ta kó tún fi lọ wá local place mi tó tún máa tún ra tó tún lè build another house sí so ilé fẹ́ mi ó sì wà important gan.
Hi guys, my name is Abibola Balogun and this is the city of Ibadan. 50 million naira for Nigeria of free tickets to UK, Kemalo, we can travel out of Nigeria.
Kí n dúró Nàìjíríà ni o. Nàìjíríà ó ti tẹ̀ mí lọ́rùn. You are a liar.
UK Nigeria don't tire you. Now why you don't want to? You don't even give me attention.
Nàìjíríà ò rọrùn ajé. Tí mo bá lọ sí UK, ẹ̀rọ tó máa ní àmọ̀ sí náà ni.
Ìgbọ́dọ̀ máa fọ́kadà.
Ìgbọ́kadà rẹ̀ ni sọ́kadà ní mọ̀ fún ẹni tí a ní. Àní òṣòwò àdérò gbé àrí kankan sí.
Sọ ẹ máa lọ UK láì.
Àtẹ̀máde mọ̀ lọ UK mọ̀ lọ UK ajé. Ṣé fún mi lówó sí i?
Don't ask me that stupid question.
Ẹ fún mi lówó.
Kenny.
You go find your way for you. You don't say maybe your papa.
Hey, doesn't.
Where na your papa land?
This place you call my fatherland, eh? Don't tire yourself.
Oh. Do you prefer a light-skinned girl or a dark-skinned girl?
It depends on what I like. I might see some features in a lady that is light, which might not be in the other lady might not have it, which is dark skin. So it depends.
Light. Wow.
I prefer light.
Why?
Light. Because if I eat anything light, I can be able to walk, but if anything, I will just sleep.
God of mercy.
I'm a pastor, you know how they call me. Sure, you understand? I am a pastor. The one God has given to me. My wife is let me say, a dark lady. Though I like light lady, I like anything that will make your eye to be shine like this. But you know, whatever God has given to you, just hold it like that.
I think guy because I'm black.
What's your anything like you?
I like Kupa.
Mo like ọmọ dúdú. Ọmọ dúdú àwọn sábà tí sickness tán bá sickness tí wọ́n tètè máa ń gbọ́. Àwọn ọmọ pupa wọ́n bá sickness wọn tètè sickness wọn máa ń le.
Back on the street of Kupajo again, and it's usually fun to be on the street. And we're on the street to know if people still know the class of food we have. Or we just eat whatever comes our way and renew. Let's see what they have to say. Generally, how many classes of food? Okay, how many classes of food do we have? Are you sure? How many classes of food do we have? Classes of food. What's the English name for Akara?
That's cool.
Please, boss.
Jesus is Lord.
Chai!
What's the English name for Akara? Akara. So yeah.
I said, unfortunately, you don't have a National Assembly that has what it takes, that will stand for the people, that will say, look, we're elected by the people, and we want to give the people the best. Nobody in the National Assembly, not even the leadership, can have what it takes to say, Mr. President, for the interest of Nigerians, we're going to veto this, your refusal. And I think that is sad in itself. But what are your thoughts, Plato, on this? Is this Has he said it as it is?
Well, because when you know what you are doing, you would definitely know what to say, particularly as regards it, and that's the way I say. But away from the messenger, now let's look at the message. We cannot deny the fact that what we run in Nigeria is a prebendal system, where the legislature is just an appendage of the executive. In fact, some would say that they are their lapdogs, and so. When last did you see, the executive? In fact, most people don't know the speakers of the different houses of assemblies in their states. Why? Because the speaker has become, the 13th commissioner in the state, or the 14th commissioner in the state, telling you, or even an essay to the governor. That's to tell you about how terrible it is. And because of that, you see that members of houses of assembly and even National Assembly cannot air their opinion. And when you have a situation like that, you can be sure that your democracy will be working on borrowed plumes. So these are the issues. So these are the issues. Now, what can we do? And I think the problem would always end when the people themselves are the first problem. And my reason is this. You elect a member of the House of Assembly or National Assembly. You are expecting him to give you money. You are expecting him to run projects. Now, if he's going to run any project, then it means that he needs to be in good terms with the executive. Because if he's not on good terms with them, then you can be sure that these so-called projects you want him to run will not be run. So these are some of the problems we have. And then your child you want to do naming, you want to do freedom, you want to do this, you are bringing it to this same man, okay? And you expect him not to necessarily have to, be told by the members of the executive. You can't just, have your cake and eat it. It's not possible. So that's one. Two is that we also need to have, I was happy when this administration passed the legislative financial freedom bill. The bill that says that, they should control their own finances. When and where we begin to have the legislative arm?
That's with respect to the states.
With respect, no, the National Assembly had always had that freedom for a long time. So if we have a situation where
supposedly though.
That's true. That's the word, because again, you still need to go to the accountant general of the state or the federation to get your money, and then the executive controls that. So these are some of the problems. When they are able to get that freedom, it becomes easier.
You see, one wrong does not justify another.
Right.
If Mr. President is in the wrong, we expect that the National Assembly should at least be in the right. But things manifest do not require proof. We have a leadership of the National Assembly, particularly the Senate, which is hell-bent on beating the drums for Mr. President. But you see, I have always said something, and it is that we have a problem with power. Power is corrupting the system. There must be a way for us to checkmate power. I want to believe that what we have in the Electoral Act is one of the moves to check power. Because if we don't, then I don't know where we are going. And don't forget, I always say this, a nation whose leadership is populated across all strata by individuals who are consumed by their sense of primitive acquisition, self-adulation, greed, and who lack the sense of responsibility, Ronke, is a nation most accursed.
Okay. All right. Well, we cannot wait to hear your thoughts and contributions. You've heard from the analysts, and we would like to hear your thoughts. You can send a text, or if you're watching us live on Facebook right now, you can leave a comment in the comment section. I'll be taking them in a moment. Well, also the headlines. Okay, we've got someone there. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning. What's your name, please?
This is the first of the month. It's Omobasha.
All right. Hello, Omobasha. Go ahead.
Yeah. Barrister, good morning.
Oh, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Honestly, the excuse given to the National Assembly on reviewing the direct primary bills by Mr. President is not tenable excuse. So this is we need. I mean, the 2/3 of the House. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. Go on real quickly.
The 2/3 of the House should override Mr. President action and do the needful. Thank you.
Okay.
Good morning.
All right. Thank you very much, Omobasharon. All right. Number to call is 0809-155-1055. I think it was last week as well that the president was sort of attacked by the opposition party for attending a book launch. On a day, bandits attacked and killed Nigerians in some states of the north. Hello, good morning. Who's speaking, please? Hello, comrade. Go ahead.
Yes, under the democratic experience, the 2019, 2009, whatever, 1999, neither APC nor PDP as the ruling party were shared to us. So any law that will make people's voice to be heard, for us to see the impact of a governance, should be encouraged. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, comrade. On Facebook, Olowo to Lokwete said, I strongly agree with Plato. Wike lacks moral right to criticize PMB. Is like 6.5 dozen. Is it not Wike that sacked Commissioner of Health for not informing him about medical and dental conference? Or can any state assembly member in Rivers State disagree with him? And with PMB on this, political parties should be free to choose any mode of primary. All right, thank you very much. Abiodun Falaye says, if the president refuses to sign the electoral bill, don't compel him to do so. One day another president will sign it. Even a strong National Assembly in future can use their veto power to sign. Kudos to the Ministry of Interior on the discharge of international passport within 6 weeks of processing and 3 weeks for renewal. Hence, there's a need to do more on the long queue in their offices. Yes, I remember, was it last year? Some people took up to a year to get their passports back. All right, Adex Cool, thank you very much for your comments as well. All right, number to call is 0809-155-1055. Let's take this. Hello, good morning. Okay. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name, please?
My name is Dan.
Your name is what?
My name is Dan.
Dan. Okay, hello, Dan.
Dan. I'm calling from Akubo.
All right, Dan from Akubo. Go ahead real quickly.
Okay, I want to contribute.
Okay.
Please, what I noticed in Nigeria, people want to see what they want to hear. Thank you, Plato, for your analysis. Remember 11, we said is going to sue the government, we will go to court if Buhari assent to the bill. But now he's saying another thing. They want to talk what they want to hear. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you very much. All right. Hello. Good morning.
Good evening. Good morning. Yes, on the issue of international passport, please, we are all appealing to this present administration under the leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari. So please, stop kidding Nigerians. There is no way you can go to a passport office and collect your passport within 3 or 6 weeks. Talk less of the money they have collected from the people. Let God is paid. That is why I said it. The current structure we are using does not have integrity. This is the voice of Omobasharon. Have a nice day.
All right. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Omobasharon, for calling in. Okay. All right. Let's take this call. Hello. Good morning. Hello. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Shino.
Hello, Dr. Shino. Good to have you here today.
Doctor, now, wow.
No, he actually listens off anyways.
I've missed you. I'm very Esther. Welcome back. In fact, I said I was going to call you. I've been very, very busy. Welcome back. Thank God for your.
Thank you very much.
Briefly, I just want to say I heard one caller that called in and said, or was it a message, and said, kudos to this government. Passports come in 3 or 6 weeks. Well, I think it's mediocrity, and we're getting used to bad governance. We're getting used to bad things because that is what we've experienced over the years. That is Stockholm syndrome, and we're loving it. It is really, really bad. In this same country, before 2015, I did my passport several times, like twice, and I know that within 24 hours, your passport, in fact, the same day, it used to be the same day, your passport would be ready. So because it has been taking 1 year, No thanks to this government or to this government. And then now it is taking 6 weeks. And we're celebrating that 6 weeks. It is outrightly bad. It should be within 24 hours. It should be the same day. It should go back to what the status quo was. They cannot just lower the bar and expect us to be happy with it. And we should stop getting used to all these people are doing. We should stop it.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Shina. Thank you for calling in. All right. We appreciate that. All right. I think we can take 1 or 2 more telephone calls. Let me see what our time. Okay, let's take this. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Who's speaking, please?
Jide from Oliver.
All right, Jide, go ahead.
Yesterday, news came out that the National Electrical Regulation Council said some countries in the neighboring countries are holding Nigeria electrical tariffs. Now, we need their explanation. You are a body that is, you have been assigned to man that position. What you're supposed to do is call them off the grid until they pay. Because they've not paid the second quarter of the year. Now they are experiencing that they are telling us a story that what is our business with that? Yours is to call them off. But we all realize that this country they can join us against Nigeria because the Bank of River Niger comes from there. So if they decide to dam it, then there's no money, there's no water for Kanji Dam again. I mean, it will be very minimal. So that's why we are keeping them light and so maybe symbiotic relationship. So, but if they share in their transaction with us, then we should do something. Not that you will explain to Nigeria that this is the reason why you are not. You don't need the explanation. So, thank you.
Anyway, let me just say this. I am happy that you came up with the, the knowledge of the agreement subsisting between the countries within the region, particularly those bordering on River Niger. So don't you think this is a matter that we should approach with abundance of caution? That is the question.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Because I was going to say this, that again, we seem to forget that our hydro source of power is actually less than 20%. But we make it seem as if it takes a major chunk of our power source in Nigeria. That's one. 2 is that if they dam it, you see that the heavens will fall. It's not one man's problem. Let them dam it. But Nigeria will keep playing. Or will keep playing the big brother.
No, I think one thing that the electricity experts really need to sit down and try and find a way around is this issue of having to put almost every of those sources in a common grid. There should be a decentralizing, a system now. We don't have to have just a grid because, okay, if we are giving light to people because of the agreement we have with them on Niger, on Niger Delta, Niger River Niger, and like Plateau is saying now, River Niger is giving us maybe about 20%. Why should we also be supplying them light that is being generated?
I saw a headline. I'm trying to look for it actually just this morning.
Gas stations and what have you.
Okay, I think I found it. Where it says Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission has disclosed that the 3 countries in West Africa has yet to pay for electricity supplied to them from Nigeria in the second quarter of 2021. The regulatory agency, which said this in its second quarter report, just released in Abuja, noted that the power firms of the 3 nations and some other special customers were issued a total bill of 770 million naira by the Nigerian Bulk Electricity Trading Company and the market operator of the Transmission Company of Nigeria. I mean, it's interesting that, what we don't have, it feels like what we don't have enough of, we even have enough, we are giving out to other people.
Because I think there is an agreement, there is a subsisting agreement that Big Brother Nigeria is...
let me also quickly mention this issue of the passports. Why is it difficult for us to revoke the contract with the Malaysian company? Because, it beats me that we have a lot of printing presses in Nigeria. The UN printing presses there, we have a lot of them. Printing presses that we knew in those days.
We seem to get ourselves in a lot of contracts, even a lot of this debt that we sort of get ourselves into with other.
Look at what happened.
Seem to get ourselves entangled.
It is not every time you want to look at government and blame government. All right, look at the issue of uniforms for our security forces. Because the Nigerian government, decided, okay, let's see if we can use local contractors and all that. Look at what is happening. the uniforms are getting, into the hands of unscrupulous elements.
Barrister,
Miscreants.
I would not agree with that because I know that a lot of officers actually sue their own clothes. It's not about contract.
Well.
So if an ordinary person they have tailors that they use.
Right.
At least I know that the Nigerian Army and the Nigerian.
And is that proper? Is that even proper in the first place? How
because we must consider
they would want you to look crisp and proper, but then they give you just a uniform, and you have to look neat for 5 days.
True.
Sure.
Okay. All right.
When we have to spend so many billions to print our naira, we spend more billions to print lesser billion naira.
Okay.
She say your body.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Who's speaking, please?
My name is Shogun. I'm coming from Dubai.
All right. Good to have you here, Shogun. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think we need to get to the bottom of what UK is trying to say. UK is saying that it is not the direct and indirect primary that is actually the problem with the APC and the National Assembly. They are interested in rubbishing that electoral reform. Because of the electoral transmission of results. They don't actually work. So they now use the direct and indirect because they know it's not fly. They now put it in that electoral so that the whole thing can be discarded. That's what the UK is trying to say. I think we should get it. We should get to the root of that.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Everybody is concerned with this transmitting the transmission of transmitter or
rigging. I mean, that's what's obviously the biggest fear of everyone out there. All right. Hello. Good morning.
Baba comedy.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. What's your name, please?
Charles from Yamacho.
All right. Good morning, Charles. Go ahead, real quickly.
Good morning, Dr. and Barrister.
Good morning,
Charlie boy.
I think we have three arms of government, which is the executive and the legislature and the judiciary.
No, we have one
I think now
and two subsidiaries.
The arms.
No, one and two subsidiaries.
The judiciary should come in now. If the executive are not doing the right thing, the executive are not doing the right thing, then at least the judiciary stands for the rights and liberties of the people.
But they have to be approached first.
Come in and help to correct this issue.
Yes.
And the lawyers too can go a long way in helping the people to safeguard the liberties of the people by taking either the executive or the judiciary to compel them to sign it if it is beneficial to the people. Thank you.
Yeah, the judiciary is waiting for them to approach. Let them approach the bench.
Okay, all right, that's all we can do today. Thank you very much for being a part of the program. Thank you, Barrister Yomi Ogunlola.
It's a pleasure.
It's good to have you back, and thank you, Plateau, for being here as well.
You're most welcome.
Thank you so much. All right, thank you. Special thanks to you for tuning in, for calling in, for texting in. We appreciate all of your messages. Thank you for being a part of the program. All right, until next time when I'll back your way, which will be at 8 o'clock actually. So make sure to tune in. We've got something interesting for you at 8 o'clock. In fact, my guest is already waiting out there. So make sure to tune in. Up next, we've got Sports Bank at 7:30. My name is Ronke Giwa Onafuwa. Good morning.
Splash FM 105.5.
Madam, I beg, give me a wristcoat.